Okay. The reason I called this news briefing tonight is I just feel like we have a problem in our community that we're going to have to face and address. And as most of you know, we had a homicide last night that involved some children aged basically 12 to 15 years of age. This is the third homicide in 6 months that we've had that involved juveniles that range from 11 to 16 years old. And the group of kids last night was between the ages of 12 and 15. They come from all backgrounds, all races. This is just a problem that we're having with kids having access to weapons. In some cases, stealing weapons. In last night's case, they stole knives from the actual store where they were at. So, you know, it's really heartbreaking when we have to come in and pick up the pieces, because so many families are damaged after this. You know, in a sense, and you know, obviously we're sympathetic to the victims because they're who are suffering and have lost somebody. But there's also another family that's going to lose something, and it's just a cycle that we have to stop, and we're just fed up with it. This is not something we can police our way out of. I just don't feel like this is a police matter. This is a parenting issue. I've said it before in other press conferences about you know, people knowing where their kids are and what's going on. We met all afternoon, my staff. I've sent a text to all of our area chiefs. We're going to have a Zoom meeting Tuesday, but we're fed up with it. And we're going to take some aggressive stance with, you know, and again, it's not going to be any segment of our population. This is going to be parish-wide, every city, every municipality. We're going to all be on the same page. But we're going to start being a lot stricter. Basically, we're going to have a zero tolerance on our curfew violators. You know, we have a state law and a parish ordinance for curfew. It's 11 to 5. On weekends, it's 12 to 5 with some special conditions if it's a school or church function. And, you know, people can look that up. We'll put it on our website. I'm sure KPLC and the newspaper could put it on their websites also. But there's very little leeway there. It's pretty plain and simple. And we're going to start aggressively enforcing that. We have to. We have got to do something to get the juvenile crime under control. And again, we can't police our way out of it. I'm asking you this tonight for our parents to take control. They have to. We can't do this. We can arrest them. You know, we can do that aspect of it, but it's not going to solve the problem. It's going to take parenting, knowing where their kids are, what they're involved in, what they're doing. And I'm just pleading and urging for you to do that. And look, I know we're in the most probably difficult times of our lives, many of us, me included. All of us are in the same predicament. There's not a lot for our kids to do right now. Our schools are, you know, partially going on and virtually going on, and we're just not in normal circumstances. But that is no excuse for the behavior that goes on in our community with our juveniles. They're breaking the law and they're getting violent. And there's just absolutely, we can't tolerate it. We're not going to put up with it, and we have to take a stance. And I'm asking you to not put us in that position. You're dropping kids off, and they're not supervised. So we're going to meet with our store owners. We're going to send somebody around to start meeting with them to tell them what their rights are. You know, there's loitering laws. You can't just go to stores and hang out if you're not purchasing and participating in buying and legitimately doing something there. Those stores have a right. So we're going to coach them and tell them what their rights are and what their laws are. But I'm going to say it again. We're doing this parish-wide throughout our community. And we're asking everybody to step up and get involved. And let's take control of our kids. All of us. Whether you're a parent, a grandparent, a store owner, we can't just let this happen. It's just going to get worse. And we either stop it now or it's going to get completely out of control. So that's our stance. Like I said, myself, I've texted the chiefs. We have not met yet. They're on board. We're going to come up with a plan, and we're going to start this immediately. So, expect phone calls in the middle of the night after 11 to come pick up your child, and then have to deal with a court date. If you're not going to do it on your own, then of course we're going to have to step in. And look, there's no sense in that. Like I said, that doesn't fix the problem. You as a parent have to fix the problem. So that's really what this is about. We've had a busy week this week. Our deputies, we've had 2 homicides and another shooting. It's January 24th, and here we are. We've had 2 murders and a shooting. We've had overdoses. We talked about that earlier in the week. Our drug use. Again, I know we got a pandemic and people are on edge, but we as a society cannot tolerate this behavior. We cannot just sit back and let this go on to our community. This is our community. We live here, and you know what? The majority of us are law-abiding, good citizens. Even some of us that have some of these troubled kids are law-abiding, good citizens. But you're going to have to find a solution for this. We're not the answer. The police is not the answer. You are the answer. So, I'm praying every day that we can figure this out as parents. I urge you to get with your faith-based communities. We have many social programs for our children. The police jury opened the Mark Center. They've got some programs. We can't, but I'm going to say it all again. You can't expect them to fix issues that sometimes we as parents create. So just take a gut look at yourself, see what we're doing wrong, and let's try to fix it as a community, because what we're doing right now is just not working, and we need to fix this. So with that, I'll answer any questions, whether it be about the incidents we had this week, or whether it be about this. As far as this, I think I've gotten this off my chest, what we expect and what our law enforcement's going to do. We're going to meet, like I said, Tuesday and come up with how we're going to do this and combat this. And we will have a solution. Like I said, I met with my staff all afternoon, and we've come up with a plan of how we're going to combat it. And we're gonna, we'll meet with our superintendent, which I talked to today. I mean, this is something we just got to attack. We just have to bear down and face it head on and fix it right now before it gets even worse than it is. So, all right, any questions?
Talk about the use of social media real quick, because I've seen a lot of videos.
Yeah, and I'm glad you said that. I'm really glad you said that, because it was one of the things that was on my mind, and I forgot about it. Parents, look, this case was not a difficult case to solve. Hell, they put it all over social media. The whole case, our whole case is unfolded before us through live Facebook and Instagram and what's the other one?
TikTok.
Yeah, all that. That we have videos of everything that took place, and it's very disturbing. It truly is. Parents, look, you can monitor this. And look, I'm not the most tech-savvy person either, but it's probably your phone that you pay for. You have the right to monitor that phone and put on limitations on that phone and download things that can help you to monitor that phone. And I beg you and urge you to do that. You need to see what these children are doing, and you can do that. It's whether you choose to or not. Look, parenting is probably the toughest job I've ever had. Of anything I've ever done in my life, being a parent's the toughest. You don't get a rule book or a playbook that tells you what to do when you become a parent, especially when you're young, like I was, like everybody is. And especially in today's world, because parents today face challenges that I really didn't have to face per se, and many others. And so we don't always understand it because we're not that tech savvy. But you better learn. You better figure out how to do it. And they have people that can help you, and you can Google anything and figure out how to do that. I mean, there is a way to do it, and I urge you to do it. So yes, social media has played. That's really what's so disturbing. I'm sure you saw it as a reporter. You probably did your research and you saw the disturbing sites, that were put on the social media last night. The whole murder was played out on there. So again, there appeared to be no remorse. It was very cold to see 12, 13, 14, and 15-year-olds acting this way. And we as a society can't tolerate it. We cannot let this plague and take over our community. Especially in these times when there's not a lot for kids to do. There really isn't. But that's no excuse. That we can't make excuses of why they're doing this. It's not going to fix the problem. Any other questions? Do you have any questions? Well, I thank you. I know it's Sunday evening, and many of us are tired and rested and want to watch ball games, and that's what we want to do. But instead, our detectives, our real-time crime center, our patrolmen, they have been working since last night, round the clock, to put the pieces together. And I know you say, well, it was on Facebook. Yeah, but we still have a lot to do when that happens, and a lot of lives are affected, and we have to make sure there's nobody else out there that was participating and involved in this. So there may be other arrests, but needless to say, we still have a job to do and our task to do. It doesn't matter what day or what time or what place it is, we're going to deal with it. So I'm asking you as a community one more time to step up to the plate. We're a good community. I'm telling you, I really believe that. I believe the majority of people that live in Calcasieu Parish are good people. Yeah, we all have problems. We may all have a kid that has a drug problem or a drinking problem, but that doesn't excuse the violence that is taking place because of some of these actions, and we have to do something about it. We cannot sit back and let them destroy not only their lives and your lives, but other people's lives. We have to take a stance as a community. We're only as good as you want us to be. And like I said, I truly believe in my heart that the majority of us want peace and happiness, and we want to live a life of no crime. But the only way we do that is if we start playing the part of the role models and acting like civilized human beings and not tolerating this. Don't just slough it off. Well, it didn't affect me. It affects all of us when this happens. Every one of us shop at these stores. We have to visit a mall, or we cannot let these things happen in our community like this. It shouldn't be tolerated by any of us, whether you're the parents or a bystander. We shouldn't tolerate this and let this happen in our community. And there's so much, if you're paying attention, I'm telling you, there's people that saw this on social media or saw this coming that never said a word. We're rolling out an app probably in the next couple of weeks that will hopefully help our school children to be able to report crimes and things that they feel like they need to get off their chest. We were going to roll it out, Kayla, 6 months ago, right before the hurricane. We delayed it because of the hurricane. So all this will be part of this, what I'm calling this action we're going to take right now to deal with curfew issues. And again, we're not implementing any new curfew. We have a curfew. By law, we have a curfew. We're just going to start enforcing it. That's everybody. Doesn't matter your status. If you have kids, you need to tell them they need to be home at 11 o'clock. Not 11:01. They need to be home at 11 o'clock. On weekends, if they're at a school function or a church function that's legitimate, they need to be home at midnight, not 12:01. They don't need to be walking around the streets and at the malls and unsupervised. Again, this is just out of control. And we have to do something about it. Us, the grown-ups. All right, thanks.